Every single day, you walk through your front door. You put down your keys, maybe you call out your dog's name, and what happens next? The jumping, the whining, the spinning, the full body chaos? You've always assumed you understood it. You don't. What is actually happening inside your dog's brain in the 30 seconds before you even touch the handle is one of the most remarkable neurological events that occurs between any two species on this planet. And by the time this video is over, you will never walk through that door the same way again. Welcome to Behind the Bark. Subscribe right now because what we cover here goes deeper than any dog content you've seen before. Today, we're going inside the brain, your dog's brain, during the one moment of their day that matters more than any other. Let's start before you even get home. Your dog knows you're coming. Not when your car turns onto the street, not when your key hits the lock. Earlier than that. Research into how dogs smell has shown that dogs can detect human scent trails that are hours old with reliable accuracy. What this means in practice is that your dog begins picking up trace chemical signals, shed skin cells, residual scent particles that drift under doors and through ventilation, long before any sound or visual cue tells them anything. Studies using heart rate monitors on dogs in separated home environments have found measurable physiological changes, elevated heart rate, increased alertness, that begin occurring 10 to 20 minutes before the owner's actual arrival. Before the car, before the footsteps, your dog's body is already responding to you. There is an entire sensory system firing in anticipation of a moment that hasn't happened yet, and it's been doing this every single day. Now, you arrive. The moment your scent concentration crosses a threshold, their nose can place with certainty. This is the one. This is them. Something triggers in the limbic system, the emotional processing center of the brain. In dogs, this region is proportionally larger and more chemically active than in most other mammals. What fires here isn't a thought. It isn't a decision. It is a biochemical event. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with anticipation and reward, begins releasing in measurable quantities. Your dog isn't just happy to see you. Their brain is releasing the same class of neurochemical that fires in humans during moments of deep joy and reunion. Within seconds of confirmed contact, your smell, your voice, your physical presence, oxytocin levels in your dog's blood rise. You already know oxytocin as the bonding hormone, the neurochemical that fires between a mother and her newborn child, between two people who love each other. Research published in Science measured oxytocin levels in dogs and their owners before and after greeting interactions and found a mutual rise, both species experiencing the same neurochemical response simultaneously. You are not just the person they live with. Your presence triggers in your dog the same hormonal signature that defines the deepest bonds in mammalian biology. And then, cortisol drops. Cortisol is your dog's primary stress hormone. In dogs that live alone during the day, and most domestic dogs do, cortisol levels rise during the hours of separation. The body maintains a low-grade alert state, watchful, waiting. When you walk through that door and the confirmation arrives, they're back, they're here. I am no longer alone. Cortisol begins to fall. The nervous system exhales. Muscle tension releases. The physiological state your dog was holding all day, that quiet background stress of being without their anchor, ends. Now you need to understand what all of that looks like from the outside. The jumping, the whining, the spinning in tight circles, the dog who runs to grab a toy before they've even said hello. These are not random excitement behaviors. Each one is a specific expression of a specific internal state. Jumping is a greeting behavior inherited from wolf pup communication. Young wolves jump at the muzzle of returning adults to trigger food sharing and to make face contact. Your dog is doing the same thing. They are trying to reach your face because your face is where your scent is most concentrated and where eye contact, social confirmation, is made. They are not being disobedient. They are following an instruction written into their nervous system 15,000 years before you were born. That whining isn't random. It is the sound of a nervous system transitioning out of alert and into safety. It is involuntary in the same way that a held breath releasing is involuntary. Your dog is not performing emotion for you. Their body is processing the shift from one state to another and making sound while it does. The spinning and circling is a displacement behavior, a physical outlet for neurological arousal that has nowhere else to go. The brain is flooded. The body moves because it has to. And the dog who runs to get a toy before anything else, this one is particularly beautiful when you understand it. Retrieving an object during high arousal is a self-regulatory behavior. It gives the mouth something to do, which reduces the likelihood of mouthing or nipping during overstimulation. But there is something else. Wolves and wild dogs bring food back to reunited pack members. That toy isn't a toy in that moment. It is an offering. Your dog is bringing you something because that is what you do when your pack comes home. That is what you do when someone you've been waiting for finally walks through the door. Stay with me, because what comes next is the part that most owners never connect to anything they do. How you respond in the first 60 seconds after you walk in the door directly shapes your dog's emotional baseline, not just in that moment, over time. Here is the science behind that. Dogs are exceptionally sensitive to what behavioral researchers call social referencing. They read human emotional states and use them to calibrate their own response to a situation. Your dog doesn't just see you when you come home. They read you, your posture, your breathing pattern, the chemical signature your skin releases when you're stressed versus relaxed. A study from the University of Vienna found that dogs can distinguish between happy and angry human facial expressions and respond with measurably different physiological reactions to each. Elevated cortisol and behavioral inhibition in response to angry expressions, relaxed body language and increased social approach in response to positive ones. What this means is that the version of you that walks through the door sets the emotional temperature of the room for your dog. If you come home rushed, distracted, tense, your dog detects it immediately. Not because they can see your face clearly the moment you enter, because they smell the cortisol in your sweat, because your breathing is shallow and fast, because your posture carries information their nervous system has been reading for thousands of years, and their own nervous system responds in kind. The cortisol that just dropped starts edging back up. The relief of your return is real, but it gets complicated by the data your body is broadcasting. This isn't a reason to perform happiness you don't feel. Your dog isn't asking for a performance. But it does explain something owners often notice. The dog who won't settle after you've had a terrible day. The dog who follows you from room to room and won't lie down. They're not being clingy without reason. They're responding to a stress signal that your body is still transmitting long after you've walked through the door. They're staying close because close is how they help. That is not a behavior problem. That is loyalty operating at a neurological level. Now here is the part that changes everything. There are approximately 365 homecomings in a year. Most of us move through them automatically. Keys down, shoes off, phone out, whatever comes next. But your dog has been building something across every single one of those moments. Every return that ended in warmth and calm and contact has deposited something into the emotional map they carry of you. Every greeting that was met with patience, with a hand reaching down, with a voice that said, "I'm glad to see you too," has told their nervous system that reunion is safe, that absence ends, that you always come back. Dogs that experience consistent, warm homecoming interactions over time show measurably lower baseline anxiety than dogs whose owners return distracted or inconsistent. Not because the greeting itself is magic, because the pattern is. Your dog's brain is a pattern recognition system built to predict whether the world is safe. And you, your arrivals, your energy, your consistency, are the primary data set that system runs on. Every time you walk through that door,
Your dog's brain runs the same sequence: anticipation, recognition, neurochemical cascade, greeting, calibration, settlement. It has been running this sequence since the day they came to live with you, and it will run it every single time until the last time. That is what is actually happening when you come home. Not a dog who is excited, a nervous system completing a reunion protocol that took 15,000 years of shared evolution to build, a brain releasing chemicals of bonding and joy, a body exhaling the stress of a day spent waiting for the one anchor it has in the world. You are not just coming home. To your dog, you are the event, the only event that matters. And now you know what it looks like from the inside. If this changed how you'll walk through your door tonight, share this video with someone whose dog deserves to be understood. Subscribe to Behind the Bark, and drop a comment telling us, how does your dog greet you when you come home? We read every single one.